This is It's Complicated, a selection of poems presented by Joe, Marilyn, Hazel, and Ben. Did it ever occur to you that maybe you're falling in love? By Alice Haber.
We buried the problem.
We planted a tree over the problem.
We regretted our actions toward the problem.
We declined to comment on the problem.
We carved a memorial to the problem, dedicated it, forgot our handkerchief.
We removed all unnatural ingredients, handcrafted a locally grown tincture for the problem, but nobody bought it.
We freshly laundered, bleached, deodorized the problem.
We built a wall around the problem, tagged it with pictures of children, birds, and trees.
We renamed the problem and denounced those who used the old name.
We wrote a law for the problem, but it died in committee.
We drove the problem out with loud noises from homemade instruments.
We marched, leafleted, sang hymns, linked arms with the problem, got dragged to jail, got spat on by the problem, and let out.
We elected an official who finally gets the problem.
We raised an army to corral and question the problem. They went door to door, but could never ID.
We made www.problem.com. So you can find out about the problem, and www.problem.org so you can help.
We created 1-800-PROBLEM so you could report on the problem, and 1-900-PROBLEM so you could be the only daddy that really turns the problem on.
We drove the wheels off of that problem.
We rocked the shit out of that problem.
We amplified the problem, turned it on up, blew it out.
We drank to forget the problem.
We inhaled the problem, exhaled the problem, crushed its ember under our shoe.
We put a title on the problem, took out all the articles, conjunctions, and verbs, called it Experimental Problem.
We shot the problem and put it out of its misery.
We swallowed daily pills for the problem, followed a problem fast, drank problem tea.
We read daily problem horoscopes, had our problem palms read by a seer.
We prayed.
Burned problem incense.
Formed a problem task force. Got a problem degree. Got on the problem tenure track. Got a problem retirement plan.
We gutted and renovated the problem. We joined the Neighborhood Problem Development Corps.
We listened and communicated with the problem, only to find out that it had gone for the day.
We mutually empowered the problem.
We kissed and stroked the problem. We fucked the problem all night, woke up to an empty bed.
We watched carefully for the problem, but our flashlight died.
We had dreams of the problem, in which we could no longer recognize ourselves.
We reformed.
We transformed.
Turned over a new leaf.
Turned a corner, found ourselves near a scent that somehow reminded us of the problem. In ways that we could never put into words. That little I can't explain it that makes it hard to think. That rings like a siren inside. 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 Who's on First by Lloyd Schwartz.
You can be so inconsiderate.
You are too sensitive.
Then why don't you take my feelings into consideration?
If you weren't so sensitive, it wouldn't matter.
You seem to really care about me, only when you want me to do something for you.
You do too much for people.
I thought you were going home because you were too tired to go with me to a bar.
I was, but Norman didn't want to come here alone.
I'm awfully tired. Do you mind taking the subway home? You could stay over. I'll take you home. Why do we have sex only when you want to?
Because you want to have sex all the time.
Relationships work when two people equally desire to give to each other.
Relationships rarely work.
Do you love me?
Of course. but I resent it.
Why aren't you more affectionate?
I am.
Couldn't we ever speak to each other without the irony?
Sure.
I love you, you know.
Yes, but why?
Do you resent my advice?
Yes, because you're usually right.
Why do you like these paintings?
What isn't there is more important than what is.
Your taste sometimes seems strange to me.
I'm a Philistine.
A real Philistine would never admit it.
I suppose you're right.
Aren't you interested in what I care about?
Yes, but not now.
We should be more open with each other.
Yes.
Shall we talk things over?
What is there to say?
Are you ever going to cut down on your smoking?
It's all right. I don't inhale.
Sometimes I get very annoyed with you.
The world is annoying.
Your cynicism is too easy.
Words interfere with the expression of complex realities.
Do you enjoy suffering?
You can't work if you don't suffer.
But we suffer anyway.
I know.
Do you think we ever learn anything?
I've learned what to do without.
You're always so negative.
I feel death all the time.
Are you afraid of anything?
Not working.
What shall we do for dinner?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you like.
Why don't you care more?
I do!
Waiting for this story to end before I begin another, by Jan Heller Levi. All my stories are about being left. All yours about leaving. So, we should have known. Should have known to leave well enough alone. We knew and we didn't. You said, let's put the cards on the table. Your card was your body, the table my bed, where we didn't get till 4 a.m. So tired from wanting what we shouldn't that when we finally found our heads, we'd lost our minds. Love, I wanted to call you so fast, but so slow you could taste each letter licked into your particular and rose-like ear. L, love, for let's wait. O for, oh no, let's not. V for the precious V between your deep breasts and the virtue of your fingers in the voluptuous center of me. Okay? E for enough. Dawn broke, or shattered. Once we've made the promises, it's hard to add the prefix if, but not so wrong to try. That means lots of long walks, which neither of us is good at, for different reasons, and nights up till 2 arguing whose reasons are better. Time and numbers count a lot in this. 13 years my marriage, 5 years you my friend, 4th of July weekend when something that begins in mist by mistake, means too much, has to end. I think we need an abacus to get our love on course, and one of us to oil the shining rods so we can keep the crazy beads clicking, clicking. It wasn't a question of a perfect fit. Theoretically, it should be enough to say I left a man for a woman. 90% of the world is content to leave it at that. Oh, lazy world. And when the woman lost her nerve, I left for greater concerns. When words like autonomy were useful, I used them, I confess. So I get what I deserve. A studio apartment he paid the rent on, bookshelves up to the ceiling she drove the screws for, and a skylight I sleep alone beneath. And 2 shiny quarters in my pocket to call one, then the other. Or to call one twice. Once, twice, I threatened to leave him. Remember? Now that I've done it, he says he doesn't. I'm in a phone booth at the corner of Bank and Greenwich. Not a booth exactly, but 2 sheets of glass to shiver between. This is called being street smart. Dialing a number that you know won't be answered, but the messages you leaves proof that you tried. And this, my 2 dearly beloveds, is this called hedging your bets? I fish out my other coin, turn it over in my fingers, press it into the slot, hold it there. Let it drop. Claustrophilia by Alice Fulton.
It's just me, throwing myself at you. Romance as usual, us times us. Not lust, but moxibustion, a substance running close to the body as possible without risk of immolation. Nearness without contact causes numbness, analgesia. Pins and needles as the snugness of the surgeon's glove causes hand fatigue. At least this procedure requires no swag or goodie bags, stuff bestowed upon the stars at their lux functions. There's no dress code, though leg irons are always appropriate. And if anyone says, "What the hell are you wearing?" in Esperanto, "Kion diable vi portas?" tell them anguish is the universal language. Stars turn to train wrecks, and my heart goes out. Admirers gush, ground to a velvet, but never mind the downside. Mon semblable, mon crush. Love is just the retaliation of light. It is so profligate, you know, so rich with rush.
Conversation with Slugs and Sarah by Jennifer Chang.
Up late watching slug porn, you confess you had a boyfriend who could spin you like that. Slug grace and slug ballet. We don't touch the topic of slime, and those eyes dangling from tentacle tips must be a kind of love or lust, siding farther and nearer all at once. But are those eyes? Slug sublimity suggests love's a drag, touch that lingers and leaves a wet trail of memory in. What did we do before YouTube? Boob tube? Boobs we have none. Slugs, of course, don't care. You can't tell girl from boy, being, you know, hermaphrodites. And only want flesh to fly. Forget their infamous languor. Here there's litheness and loving, buoyant miracles of want. One slug spiraling on the axis of another like a globe slapped by an insolent hand. Neither old nor young, we're familiar with sluggishness, too tired to explain why nothing makes us spin like that. A swirl, a pirouette, a gyre. It's either fucking or marriage, I say, saying more than I mean. Why can't lust be love and love be lust? You're always asking. Even now, as the slugs begin their sluggish withdrawal, each complete in love and lust, each mother and father to what they've made together, each alone, content, and free.
Thank you.